Now, this was an ensemble cast, unlike any ensemble cast before. You did something special. You managed to bring the cast and the crew together on this thing out of survival, I'm sure. But can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, when I all came to rehearsals, it was like, wrangling, cats or so, like, how am I gonna get my head around this? So the only way dealing with it was actually just take them to Kathmandu and make them walk up the mountain, So slowly but surely, it just became like a group of guys, not only the actors, the crew, that, we are at the mercy of the mountain. Like, what is the mountain going to let us do today? So we just got to adapt to it like people walking a mountain, And, the actors are carrying the equipment for the, like back to film school, A-list movie stars, suddenly sleeping in unheated lodges with an electric blanket just to keep them warm. Yes, that's what we did, And then, we got to 16,000 feet, and that's when people started getting really sick, We had to evacuate them with helicopters, and, that was the end of that. Then we went to the Dolomites and we shot in -30°C for 6 weeks. Because for me, acting is reacting, right?
How did you go about building the strong characters beforehand, before we get to the mountain itself?
First of all, it was very important well, in the beginning when I came to the script, it changed, throughout the process of getting it ready. But there was a lot of scenes about people at home, and all this, what those scenes did for me were basically expositionally explain a character. Okay, so he's the guy who's angry to his wife, or he's the guy that, or he's the selfish asshole, or he's the good guy who's, does this for the children, or whatever it is. And I felt I want to strip all that away and let you go on a journey with a bunch of characters. In the beginning, you might like, oh, who's that? Oh, that's so many characters. How am I going to get my head around it? And then if you just relax, it will come to you through the movie, and you will learn to know some better than others. And someone best, and that way, as when you travel with people, you can go on a buy your ticket to Ibiza or whatever, some of people you like, and you talk to them, and others you will, not spend so much time with. And that way, having a chance to understand the climbing society, how people, do this, having all the details about what is done. I love those kind of details about climbing and altitude sickness and all that, because I didn't want this kind of characters of epiphany, oh, he's doing it because his father used to beat him when he was young, or something like, bollocks like that, So, but we have one scene when the characters are asked why they do this. And to my experience, climbers can't really answer that question. Although everyone has a different answer, most of them very unsatisfying. And that's the truth of the matter, Immediately when we started, started bringing up the names, big names, Mark Wahlberg, he's perfect. Because I think he has that mixture of boyish charm, and he's kind of blue collar, and you believe him as a blue collar guy, and he also has a little shitty past, he did things in the past, and it's very real to this character. And I was like, okay, great. It was my choice to make it in 3D because I thought you would get much more volume out of the mountain. You get much more feeling of the mountain, the depth and the distances, And it's the perfect movie, for me, because I don't like special effects and 3D so much, in kind of, explosions and stuff like that. But I love it to make things more real, to actually be able to create a world that you couldn't create differently, So it's all about the depth, and the height. I didn't want to scare you like, oh, it's more like, oh my God, oh, that's so high, And if you can do that, I call it the wow effect, rather than the shock effect,
Mm-hmm. Did you have Italian films in mind when you made this?
Well, some of them, yeah. Some like the spaghetti westerns you mentioned. Yes, I did. And Sergio Leone and these, but I didn't want to go like to imitate them in any way. Nothing like that. But it's just play with it, like wink at it,